There is a taxi driver in Madrid who has driven the same car for 912,000 kilometers. He has never replaced the engine, never replaced the gearbox, never had a single catastrophic failure. 912,000 kilometers. That is the distance from Madrid to Tokyo and back. 11 times. His car cost him 19,000 euros new. Over 14 years, his total repair costs outside routine maintenance have been less than 3,000 euros. 22 cents per kilometre of total motoring cost. A BMW 3 Series owner spends more than that on oil changes alone, and his car is not special. You can buy the same model right now on any used car lot in Spain for under 10,000 euros. The automotive industry does not want you to know these cars exist, because if you buy one and keep it, you will never walk into a dealership again. You will never sign a finance agreement again. You will never pay 3,000 euros for a timing chain replacement. You will simply drive for decades while the rest of the world keeps buying cars designed to be replaced. 7 cars that cost under 25,000 euros new and routinely pass 900,000 kilometers without major problems. 7 cars you should never sell. Subscribe because this is the video the entire automotive industry wishes did not exist. 7. Honda Civic, the 8th generation Civic with the 1.8i VTEC naturally aspirated engine. No turbo, no direct injection, no dual clutch, no particulate filter, nothing to brake except the basics. And Honda built those basics to a standard most modern manufacturers have abandoned. The timing chain lasts the lifetime of the engine. Oil consumption at 300,000 kilometers is negligible. On Spanish forums, there are Civic owners reporting 500, 600, 700,000 kilometers on the original engine and gearbox. Cost used in Spain, between 3,000 and 6,000 euros. Cost of keeping it running for 5 years, less than most people spend on a single repair bill for a modern turbocharged car. A mechanic in Bilbao, the 8th Gen Civic is the car I recommend to anyone who asks what to buy and keep forever. I almost never see one for a real problem. 6. Toyota Avensis. Nobody talks about the Toyota Avensis anymore. It is not fashionable. It does not generate clicks on social media. It generates kilometers, hundreds of thousands of them, without drama. The 2.0 D4D diesel is the kind of motor manufacturers do not build anymore because it lasts too long. Simple injection system, robust turbo, timing chain with a genuine lifetime rating, designed before emissions regulations forced manufacturers to add layers of fragile technology. In Spain, there are taxi Avensis units with over 800,000 kilometers still running on original engines. No rebuild, no major overhaul, just oil, filters and the occasional injector. Cost used between 2,000 and 4,000 euros. A mechanic in Seville, the Avensis D4D is the diesel I wish still existed. Everything after it got worse. 5. Suzuki Jimny. The Suzuki Jimny is not comfortable. It is not fast, it is not quiet, it is possibly the most indestructible vehicle ever sold to the general public at a reasonable price. The 1.3-litre M13A engine is a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with the mechanical complexity of a kitchen blender. The gearbox is a 5-speed manual built to withstand off-road abuse far beyond what most owners will ever subject it to. There are Jimnys in rural Spain with 400,000 kilometers on farm tracks that have never seen a workshop for anything other than routine service. The body will rust before the engine fails. Cost used between 8,000 and 15,000 euros, high for the age because demand is insane. The Jimny holds its value better than a Rolex. A mechanic in Zaragoza. I have seen Jimnys that looked like they had been through a war. Engine still perfect. 4. Mazda MX-5. A sports car on a list of cars that reach 900,000 kilometers. It sounds impossible. It is not. The 3rd generation MX-5 carries naturally aspirated engines designed with the same Mazda philosophy. High compression, no turbo, no unnecessary complexity, no oil consumption issues, no timing chain problems. The 6-speed manual is universally considered one of the best transmissions ever made. After 200,000 kilometers, it shifts the same as new. MX-5 owners in Japan have documented units over 500,000 kilometers with original powertrain. Cost used between 8,000 and 14,000 euros. You will not find a more enjoyable car that also happens to be nearly indestructible mechanically. Stop. 4 cars that refuse to die. The top 3 are on another level entirely. The cars that taxi drivers and delivery companies rely on to hit numbers most modern cars will never see. Number 1 holds the unofficial record for the most kilometers on a single engine in Spain. Hit like and let us continue. 3. Toyota Corolla. The 9th generation Toyota Corolla is the baseline against which all automotive reliability should be measured. The 1.6 and 1.8 VVTi engines are naturally aspirated with a timing chain that genuinely lasts the life of the engine. Oil consumption at 300,000 kilometers is measured in milliliters. The engines are so under stress they operate well within their mechanical limits at all times. No turbo, no direct injection, no particulate filter, nothing between you and 500,000 kilometers except oil changes and standard wear items. In Spain, between 2 and 5,000 euros. At that price, there is literally no cheaper way to own reliable transport. A mechanic in Madrid. I have customers with 2003 Corollas that come for their annual service and I have nothing to tell them. The car is fine. It is always fine. I almost feel guilty charging them. 2. Mercedes W124, the car that proves Mercedes used to mean something entirely different from what it means today. The W124 with the naturally aspirated diesel 5-cylinder is arguably the most over-engineered passenger car ever mass-produced. Mercedes built it during an era when every component was designed to last longer than the customer would ever need. That philosophy died in the early 2000s. The OM601 and OM602 diesel engines are legendary. Documented examples worldwide exceeding 1 million kilometers on original engines. In Africa and the Middle East, W124 taxis run with 700,000 and 800,000 kilometers as daily drivers. In Spain, between 3 and 8,000 euros. They are slow. They have no airbags, no ESP. But mechanically they are built to a standard no manufacturer, including modern Mercedes, matches today. A mechanic in Valencia. The W124 is the car I show my apprentices when they ask what real engineering looks like. Then I show them a modern A-Class with a Renault engine and they understand what went wrong. 1. Toyota Land Cruiser, the car that people in the harshest conditions on Earth choose when their life depends on mechanical reliability. The Toyota Land Cruiser with the 1HZ and 1HD FTE 4.2-litre inline-6 diesel engines is the most reliable vehicle ever manufactured. This is the consensus of every mechanic, every fleet operator and every humanitarian organization that operates vehicles in extreme conditions anywhere in the world. The 1HZ naturally aspirated diesel has the internal complexity of a tractor motor and the build quality of a Swiss watch. Designed to run on low-quality fuel in extreme temperatures with minimal maintenance, routinely past 700, 800, 900,000 kilometers. In Spain, between 15 and 30,000 euros depending on condition. But the total cost of ownership over 20 years is lower than buying 3 consecutive modern SUVs. You buy it once, you maintain it cheaply, and you drive it until your children inherit it. A mechanic in Malaga, I serviced a Land Cruiser HDJ80 last year with 840,000 kilometers. The owner wanted to know if he should sell it. I told him his grandchildren should inherit it. That engine will outlast all of us. 7 cars. 7 examples of what the automotive industry is capable of when it builds vehicles to last instead of vehicles to replace. Not a single turbo between them, except the Land Cruiser 1 HD-FTE and the Avensis D-4D. No dual-clutch gearboxes. No mild hybrid systems. No particulate filters generating €4,000 bills. Simple engineering. Proven materials. Designs that prioritize longevity over brochure numbers. The car industry wants you to buy new every 5 years. These 7 cars prove you do not have to. Buy the right one, maintain it properly, and never sell it. Because the cheapest car you will ever own is the one you already have, as long as it was built to last. Subscribe and share this video with anyone tired of spending thousands on cars designed to fail. Because the best car is the one you never have to replace.